Yo, what is up, guys? So, I'm here. I'm sick, by the way. My voice is shitty, so beware. But we are finally here to record the Token Minorities March Madness tournament in mid-July. So, that's how lazy I am. Amazing, right? This tournament was so much fun, so I knew I had to put it up eventually, even though it's so late at this point. But it's whatever. So, you probably all know what it is, but we all drafted 7 mons, and then we're put into pools, and then we played 4 games, played like 3 or 4 other people, I think. I think it was 4 games, yeah, it was 4. Okay, I'm dumb. And my first opponent was Jolt from Token Minorities, who's in the MPL. He's the founder of the MPL, and he's the founder of Token Minorities, even though he is a ginger, which isn't really that much of a minority, because, I don't know, man. He sounds like a ginger, by the way. And my voice is awful, so just bear with me, because I'm sick, because reasons. And I'm going to leave the chat here, because sometimes the chat's funny, especially in my game with Shroom. Anyways, my draft is these guys here, and what you don't see is Clefable as my 7th mon, which was my first pick. And my team's really fat, and this is a Mega Heracross, by the way. My team's really fat with a little bit of speed and Greninja and stuff and things. And I had a lot of fun this tournament. I brought a lot of heat sets. I'm just going to record the entire tournament in this thing. So, playing Jolt, he's got Excadrill, T-Tar, Celebi, Heracross, normal, Gengar, and Vaporeon, and what you don't see is his Mega Garchomp. So, first set I brought Sandville Sub-SD Dual Stab Garchomp, because I was trying to cheese him out a little bit. He didn't bring the Mega Garchomp, though, which had a really good matchup against me, so that's cool. But it's max speed, so I could tie with a max speed Garchomp before it Mega Evolved and got its speed lowered. This thing just wrecks his team. If I get up an SD, then it's over, pretty much, and things are a little weakened. Mega Hera, max HP and attack with 4 attacks. He has no switch-ins, everything dies, which is awesome. Then I've got Trick Room, 3 attacks, Life Orb Reuni, because it just cleans his team late game. I have Life Orb, 3 attack, U-Turn, Greninja, which is also pretty good. I guess Spikes would have been decent in this match too, but the coverage was good, and U-Turn's nice because Grass Knot doesn't do jack shit to Vaporeon, and having that U-Turn to go out into my threats on a Vaporeon switch-in would be cool, because it's only switching to a Dark Pulse plus my Dual Stab. And one defensive thing, my Fizz Def Mandibuzz with Charty Berry, because he has like 3-4 things that can hit me with a hard rock move. So I wanted to be able to do that, and I'm going to have U-Turn, because U-Turning out into Garchomp and Hera and Greninja and Fish are all good things. Because I have a really good matchup and my team's strong against his. Lastly, I have Scarf Bisharp. Nab some surprise kills, outspeeds the Gengar, because that was kind of scary since the only thing that outspeeds it naturally is my Greninja. And it's a cool one. I like Scarfish. So let's lead off. I'm going to lead off with Heracross, because if he leads off with something that's not named like Gengar or Celebi, then something is pretty much going to die. So trying to take advantage of that, lead with Hera, but he's going to lead with Celebi, so good lead on his part. But I'm going to go straight into Bisharp, because no human is going for the HP fighting there. And now I'm going to pull a hard double into my Mandibuzz, because I want to scout if he's choiced, if he is defensive, if he's whatever. And I didn't want him to be like Culver Berry and chew a knockoff and then kill me with HP fighting, because Bisharp's great. And he's going to pull the double out into his Excadrill. I don't know if he was predicting Mandibuzz, but he shows Mold Breaker, so that probably means he doesn't have Sand on his T-Tar, which makes Garchomp Sandville pointless, which is too bad, because that would have been pretty hot and spicy. But he's going to talk to me as I go for the U-Turn, which is too bad, but I just get a free drop into Garchomp, and I'm just going to go right for the sub. No way he stays in here, and because he does have like defensive things to take an EQ. I'm going to go for the sub, because I want to scout what the Celebi can do, and I can get 2 turns of leftovers at least. I'm going to fire off a Declaw. That does 43%, so this is not a defensive So that's probably not even like HP invested, so that's cool. I'm gonna sub again in case he overpredicts or something, but he's just gonna de-gleam again, which is fine. And now I'm just gonna switch out because Uniclus should be able to take a Dazzling Gleam easily. And I can also see if he specs. That is definitely not specs damage. I don't know what is specs damage, but multiply that by 1.5, I guess. Go for the Signal Beam, trying to maybe cheese him out of a kill or something. Or something like that. Hold on. Okay, so Vaporeon's in here, and I really want to predict the T-Tar to come in here, so I'm going to go for the Focus Blast, as he's going to fire off the Scald and get some good damage on me, and I'm going to miss my Focus Blast. So, 1 I overpredicted and 2 I missed, so that's too bad. And, I got interrupted for a sec. Yeah, missed Focus Blast and overpredict, and this took damage, so now it's going to be harder to get up a Trick Room, which is too bad. And now I'm going to go for the safe Psychic, as now he's going to Baton Pass into his T-Tar, which is unfortunate. But it's whatever, because I do have ways to deal with T-Tar, and Reuniclus is still helpful. So I'm going to go into Bish, because there's no way he's going to go for a thing that hit me super effectively. And, yeah, going to go for the Low Kick here. It was a bit of a 50 toss-up on what I was going to go for, but in the end, I decided that Low Kick was my best play because I didn't want to overpredict and lose my Bisharp and get put on the back foot. So Low Kick works as the T-Tar dies, and now we can go into his Hera, but I do have my Mandibuzz at full to see what he wants to do as he goes right for the close combat, so that means he's not banded from that damage, and then you're going to see he gets Flame Orb, so he's not Scarf either, which is good, and he's going to go for the Mega Horn, but Mandibuzz is fat, and he's going to chew that shit and get a U-turn off. Also, because T-Tar is dead and it was a nerve anyways, and Excadrill is shown to be Mold Breaker and probably not Scarfed, maybe, but I can deal with Scarf Excadrill. I was fine with letting Mandibuzz take damage because it wasn't that necessary at this point, and now I can save it as a sack, as I do get the free switch into Garchomp, which is good, because now I can just fire off a Dragon Claw and basically get a kill, unless he goes like hard into Vaporeon, but he's going to go into this guy, and had I gone for the SD, that would have been pretty cool, but he can still revenge me right after, and I'm just going to 2-hit KO him with the Dragon Claw, as now he's going to drop into his Gengar, which is obviously going to have some sort of ice attack, because why wouldn't he if he's going to drop it in? So I'm just going to fodder off Mandibuzz, because I need it, and now it gets me a free drop into my Bisharp, and now I can click Knockoff on something, as I didn't want to click Pursuit because I didn't show I was Scarfed yet, and I'm sure he was probably expecting me to be like E-Belt or Dread Plate or something like that, or maybe even Sash with just a lot of speed for the T-Tar, because I naturally outspeed T-Tar. So nabbed the surprise kill with the Knockoff, which is fun, and now he's going to go into his Heracross. I don't really want to switch anything in on this, and I'm going to go for the Knockoff, and he's going to likely predict my Mega Hera to come in and go for the Facade, which does a lot, but not enough, and it puts him to the point after Burden where I can knock him out with the second Knockoff. So since he was in such a bad spot, he had to make plays, which is fine, but I'm in such a good spot with Bisharp here, so I can just click Knockoff again, get rid of this Excadrill's item unless he is Scarfed. But no, I'm just gonna, he's Life Orb, and that does a ton, as he's gonna knock me out with the EQ, and now I can just go into Garchomp and win the game from here with Garchomp plus Mega Hera, because I'm gonna kill this, and he's gonna throw up some wishes, and he's gonna eventually Scald Burn me, and I'm gonna SD a few times, and then, yeah, get a ton of damage off, and then just finish it up with Mega Hera. So, that was game 1. Let's get into game 2 against Shroom. So, oops, wrong one. Wait, what? Oh, shit. Okay, well, you saw that. Oh, well. It doesn't really matter, because this was definitely the most fun game, probably, of the tournament for me against Shroom Raver, because Coach at Parasect Jermaine, go check him out. He's in the PPL. And he's pretty well known for making a lot of good memes and stuff. And I did bring my fair share of memes, so he's got Gardevoir, Thundurus, Incarnate, Staraptor, Melodic, Fortress, Hagris, and Emboar. So he had like a shit ton of wall breakers, so that killed himself, so I saw that Rocky Helmet Garchomp would be a good bring for this one. It also has Stealth Rock for the match, which is good because I don't have a lot of great stuff. I have a fair amount of Stealth Rockers, but I don't really want to bring Rocks, Clefable, or Bisharp. So yeah, defensive helmet thing, which is good. Then I've got Assault Vest offensive Reuniclus with some spicy memes, which you'll see in this game, because it's the only thing that can take 2 hits from Life Orb Thundurus, and it still does a ton of work to his team because I am Regenerator and he doesn't have good resist to Psychic plus my coverage. Then I've got probably one of my dankest sets of this tournament. I'm rocking Modest Max Special Attack, 200 Speed, Focus Sash, Clefable with T-Wave, Healing Wish, Moonblast, and Thunderbolt. This thing is my check to Haxorus because Haxorus is a threat, because the thing about Haxorus is it just plows through fat teams, because Unaware doesn't work, because it's got Mold Breaker. So I saw that Sash Clef would be a cool meme to use, and also Healing Wish is there in case I have the opportunity to throw out Healing Wish and get my Garchomp back up to full in case I was trying to wall both the Staraptor and the Empoleon. So really cool set, I was proud of that one. Then I've got SD 3 attacks Hera because it just shreds his team. And then I've got a Fizz Def Mandibuzz as a secondary check to Haxorus with Tailwind and Taunt because they're cool things and it shuts down the 4E. And lastly, I've got a, I believe, SD 3 attacks Bisharp. I had Psycho Cut on there because Emboar, which he didn't bring, which is too bad, but that would have been cool. Anyways, let's get into it. Oh, oops. He's going to lead off with this, and I'm going to lead off with my Reuniclus, because Reuniclus has a really good matchup in this game, and if he let off with Staraptor, then I can just go hard into Chomp. Unless he doubled out, he's going to take a lot of damage, and this is a perfect matchup, because I can just fire off a Psychic, because I can take 2 of anything, except for maybe like Specs Dark Pulse, I forget. He's going to go right for the taunt though, predicting me to be like Calm Mind shenanigans, as I'm just going to fire off a Psychic and do a ton of damage. So now he's going to Volt Switch, and that does about 5 because I'm max HP Assault Vest. And now he's going to go into his Gardevoir and take a Psychic, so it's not bulky. And now he's going to go for the Encore, which is a pretty sweet meme. Obviously it was a good bring because of the potential for CM Reuniclus and CM Clef, which is like the only time that I brought both of them and neither one was CM. But Psychic's going to do a lot, and he does have my Regenerator though, but I'm going to keep on spamming Psychic because he has to switch eventually. He can't really touch me. Even with Shadow Ball it doesn't do much because I'm AV, and he doesn't have good Psychic resist outside of this. So I'm just going to Psychic again as my taunt goes away, doesn't matter at all. He's going to go into 4E though, and 4E's not taking this well at all. That's a crisp 3-hit KO. And he's going to give his Rocks, which I'm not really bothered that much by Rocks. I'm going to get a crit here. It doesn't matter because I still 3-hit KO'd him, and I get rid of my Encore, as he is going to set up the light screen, so maybe that helped, but I really don't think it mattered because Fortress was not going to heal up unless he had Pain Split, but it's whatever, hacks happens. But now he gets the drop into Haxorus, which is scary, and I'm just going to hard right into my Clefable because I don't want, because it's obvious he's just going to set up because why else would he light screen? And now I'm just going to Moonblast. He's probably Lumberry, so T-Wave is not the play, and I'm just going to get off a lot of damage to the point where I can knock him out with Foul Play after. So Moonblast is 65% behind the light screen, so offensive Clef is pretty strong, man. But now I can just go into this and he can't kill me, so I'm just going to take a lot of damage, crisp 45, and knock him out with the Foul Play. So Crisis averted, and at this point Reuniclus and Hera and Garchomp can kind of just win the game. He's going to go into this, but I do have my Reuniclus, which just switches in, and I get to keep Mandibuzz for fodder later on. He's going to Moonblast, no drops, which is good. And obviously he doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball, and I know this, so I'm going to drop a Thunder, predicting either the this guy or the Malag to come in. So yeah, I Thunder this thing, and it felt so good doing that because yeah, it was just awesome. It was just awesome. not much else about it. So it dies, and Shoddy is gonna say, Murk, have my babies. And then I'm gonna drop another meme with knockoff as he goes for the mirror coat. So I'm pulling out all the stops in this one, which is fun. So I'm knockoff, Shadow Ball, Thunder, Psychic, AV, Reuniclus. I was really proud of this set. This was probably some of my hottest sets in this tournament. But yeah, he shows Mirror Coat. I kind of thought he would be that, so now I'm just gonna go out into yeah, I'm gonna go into Garchomp here because I want to get my rocks so that his Thundurus is more pressured, and I don't really need it for. I don't need it all at this point because Staraptor's dead. So I'm just gonna get rocks and just fire off an EQ to get some chip damage on the thing. As he's gonna Scald again, get the burn, which is too bad. And I think I'm just gonna tail him out, or maybe just go for the. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Dragon Tail to get a tiny little bit of chip damage and force something to take Stealth Rock, which is Gardevoir, which is fine because now I just get the drop into Reuniclus, and he doesn't get to trace my Regenerator. So now I can go into this and just fire off the Shadow Ball because nothing wants to take it. And I'm pretty sure Shadow Ball plus Thunder is going to kill the Melodic. He gets a Spadef drop, but he's just going to die to a Shadow Ball because Reuniclus is strong as fuck. And now he's going to go into this guy, and here's where I can just sack off my Mandibuzz. So keeping sacks in this tournament was really, really nice. As he goes for the Volt Switch, so he was most likely a pivot and probably didn't have T-Bolt if that's the case. He has a crit, which mattered, and now he's just going to go into Melodic. And I just win the game with Hera at this point because Thundurus is dead to rocks, and this thing is not taking a Bullet Seed. So if I SD'd there, then I would have asserted dominance, but Bullet Seed, and unless he's max speed HP flying, this thing is not going to kill me or outspeed me or anything. I'm just going to kill him with the Bullet Seed. So that's a game, good game, Shroom. That was really, really fun, and I advanced, and I'm now 2-0. Yeah, Hera once again cleans up a game. It's a theme, and I will get back to you with my third battle. Okay, so now we have game 3. This is against my really good buddy Eric, or Ashton Akai. He's in like every league ever. Also, he got into PPL D2, so congrats to him on that, just saying. Yeah, really good friend. The only other time I played him was in LBA Season 4, and I 6-0'd him with Taunt Calm Mind Mega Gardevoir, which was really fun. But anyways, he's got Florges, Crobat, Porygon 2, Megazard X, Rotom Wash, Yanchao, and something else that I totally don't remember. Obviously, it was probably something that wasn't that big against my team. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't have any record of it. But this is probably my favorite team that I brought. So I'm bringing Rocky Helmet Defense Mandibuzz because, you know, it's good against his team since he's got that, and he's got that, and he's got that. And Mandibuzz kind of stops them all, even though Whiff Zard was probably a thing because then it can set up. And then after that, I have 5 setup mons. I've got Calm Mind T-Wave Clef, which is just really, really good against his team. It just 6-0s. I've got Stealth Rock, Swords Dance, Dual Stab, Weakness Policy Garchomp, which just eats through his team. And I have enough special defense on this thing to take an unboosted Ice Beam from Porygon 2 and activate my Weakness Policy. So that was a nice meme. Then I've got Calm Mind T-Wave, Psyshock, Reuniclus, because this also just 6-0s his team if I can get up some Calm Minds. Then I've got Sash SD Bish with Triple Stab because it's really good against his team and it weakens things and it knocks off the P2 and it damages stuff and things. And lastly, I have, I think it's just SD3 attacks Hera. And one thing to note, he has absolutely nothing for Heracross. As long as I predict right, everything dies or gets 2-hit KO'd. So the T-Wave support from these two things also makes it so Hera can just kill everything if that's the route I want to go down. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to lead off with Bish, I think. Yeah, I decided since I was Sash, I wanted to lead off with Bisharp right away, because if he led off with the wrong thing, I could set up an SD and do some work. But I'm going to go into Clef, because Clef doesn't give a shit about defensive Rotom, I'm going to go into Reuniclus, because it doesn't give a shit about defensive Rotom. But he goes for the Hydro, and that means he is offensive. It's not specs, but he's offensive. So here, I'm just going to recover off the damage. I'm thinking he's Scarfed, because that's the most likely thing. If he was like Splash Plate or something, it would have been a definite 2-hit KO. But I'm just going to continue healing up so I get to full. And he's going to go into his Zard here. And I don't want to deal with this thing, so I'm just going to click T-Wave, which is the skillful button. And he is going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, which I kind of thought was coming. And here it shows that I am Regenerator, which I was supposed to be Magic Guard, which is too bad because now I can't 1v1 this Charizard. Because you'll see right now, after this, I'm going to go for the Calm Mind. He shows that he has Crunch, so I can't stall him out of HP, and I can't set up on this thing because I don't have Magic Guard, so that's too bad. I'm going to switch out now and just go into Mana Buzz because it switches in and it gets helmet damage and stuff. And now I can fire off Foul Plays and do the work. He was probably going for the burn here, but he gets T-Wave because that's what T-Wave does. And now I'm just going to continuously fire off Foul Play and hope he gets fully paralyzed again so I can get rid of this stupid shark. Zardex is a bad Pokemon. It just is. He's going to go into his Florges here, and I'm going to go for the Foul Play. He doesn't have lefties, so I'm thinking he's probably like Berry, because that's the most likely bring. But he's going to go for the Moonblast, and that's 45%, so he's another offensive thingy, which is interesting. And I'm just going to go for the T-Wave because skill, and now I can heal up on this thing because T-Wave Calm Mind Clef is really good because once you T-Wave something after taking a lot of damage, you just heal until they get paralyzed, which is dope, pretty much. So I'm going to continually go for the Soft Boiled, and now here's my best play of the tournament. I'm going to predict the trick from the Scarf Rotom and go into my Heracross because I blocked the trick, and he does go for it, and now this thing is choice locked into trick, which means he has to either fodder it off, which is bad because it's good against my team, or switch something in, and absolutely nothing takes the combination of Rock Blast plus something else. I want to go for Rock Blast because Crobat is the most likely switch, because this thing just gets to it KO'd and it's paralyzed, and it turns out that it was Scarf Floor just after the match, which is pretty dawn, honestly. So I'm gonna go for the Rock Blast as he is gonna go for the he's gonna go into the Crobat, which I more or less expected. He also could have like foddered off his Zard, and I'm just gonna get a kill because every time that Hera comes in, something dies, which is cool. And now he's gonna go into this because he went into this. He probably has a flying move, so I'm gonna go out into my check to this, even though I have a ton of checks to this. But Mana Buzz comes in, shows Life Orb, so he's probably Regenerator. I'm going to go straight for the knockoff here, because either get rid of the Life Orb or I get rid of someone's item, which is fun. And I'm going to get rid of the P2's Eviolite, which is cool, and this thing is just a free switch into Hera, unless he had like Psychic or HP Flying, which would have been cool. But now this thing is in, and this thing gets a kill, as he's just going to fodder off his guy. I guess probably would have foddered off Zard, to be honest, but it's whatever. It was pretty useless, actually. Then I'm just going to switch out again because I don't want to lose it, and I'm just going to go into my Reuniclus and pretty much just sack it off. I guess I could have gone for the 6-0 and went into Mana Buzz on the predicted knock, but it's whatever, because Mana Buzz really can't do much against the remaining Mons he has. And now I'm just going to go into Clef, and Clef kind of just wins the game at this point because it sets up on everything. And I'm going to go right for the Moonblast, and that's going to be a 2-hit KO on the Zard, and I don't want it healing up or anything stupid, so I'm just going to kill it off with another Moonblast. Now he's going to go into Rotom, and no way that he tricks twice, so I was pretty sure he'd just go for the Volt Switch or the other move, and I'm just going to go for the Moonblast here. And now that this thing's in, I know I can easily set up on it, so I'm just going to go for the Calm Mind. And with this Calm Mind, the game's pretty much over because +1 just beats his whole team, even if he does trick me a Scarf. I'm going to go for the Moonblast as he does go into the guy, and that does a crisp 60% pretty much. And I don't even care, it doesn't matter if he tricks me. He's going to go for the Volt Switch, which doesn't matter. Even if he tricked me, I'd still have enough health to take a Life Orb P-Jab from Mienshao because I have max defense. And I'm just going to 2-hit KO the Florges, and I'm just going to be able to, I can chew a hit from the guy, and I'm going to go for the T-Wave here because Eric's my friend, and I like doing these things to him. So two-wave the thing so I can get 2 rounds of lefties, which doesn't matter at all, but now I just did it because I'm flashy. And killed the Moonblast, and I just killed a Rotom unless he gets a crit on the Hydro Pump. And he's not going to do that because why would he? And I'm going to get a 5-0, so that's cool. I think this was my biggest win of the tournament, maybe. But yeah, I stunned it on him. Setup spam was cool. Calm Mind Clef is really good. And yeah, let's get on to my final pool play game. Okay, so my last game is against Moxie Infernape from the Major Pokemon League. He's cool, nice guy. His team, he's got Togekiss, Galvantula, Entei, Seismitoad, Mega Sceptile, Mamoswine. I totally don't remember the last thing, but it's not here, so it doesn't matter. But I don't remember everything on this team, but I'm Calm Mind, just Calm Mind 2 attacks, Clef, I think just all-out attacking fast Mega Hera with enough speed to outrun Mamoswine and Max Speed Mamo and Togekiss before I get my speed dropped. Then I'm running some sort of offensive coverage Life Orb thingy Greninja because it does really well against his team. Then I'm bringing back Scarfish because it was good and I could have some surprise kills. I don't remember at all what my I really don't remember what my Garchomp set was, and some sort of Calm Mind Reuniclus. It's been 3 months. Give me a break, and I don't have my import for this team anymore. But anyways, let's turn off music. What do I lead off with? I'm just gonna lead off with Bisharp because he's probably just gonna lead with Bug, and I can 2-KO it with Knockoff, which is cool. So I'm just going to go right ahead for the knockoff, as it's going to knock him down to, I don't activate his Sash, but I get rid of his Sash, so that was interesting. He's going to go for the Bug Buzz though and not get Sticky Webs up, which is nice. Now he's going to go into Entei and show that he is no item physically defensive. So knowing this, I can just switch into Reuniclus easily because that did nothing, so there's no way that Sacred Fire is doing anything. I'm going to go for the Psyshock because I don't know what this thing wants to do. And he goes for the Roar, which is a smart bring because it does stop Calm Mind Clef and Calm Mind Reuniclus. He's going to send me out into this guy though, and I'm going to fire off the Hydro Pump because I feel like the Seismitoad's too obvious, but he just does it anyways because he doesn't care. And now I'm going to switch out because I don't want to risk this thing being like the Grass Berry, and I do have a free switch into Reuniclus, and I'm just going to fire off a Calm Mind and start putting on some pressure. So I'm going to Calm Mind. He gets a crit knockoff, which is too bad, because that forces me to recover here, whereas I could have Calm Minded twice, I guess. But it's going to go into Entei, as I'm going to recover up, and now I can fire off a +1 Shock, which is cool. It does a crisp 30%, I guess, but he's going to roar me out and send me into Clef. Which is fine, as he's going to go for the Rest, so he's Rest Talk, Lava Plume, Roar, Entei, which is really cool. As I go for the Water Pulse, so there's another nice meme for you guys. He's going to Sleep Talk a Roar though, which is too bad, but now I go into Heracross, and it is time, because Hera just shreds his whole team. He's going to go into his Seismitoad as I go for the Rock Blast. I really thought he'd go into Togekiss, hold on. I had to cough. And yeah, I thought I'd go into Togekiss, and I'm going to double Rock Blast, which is too bad because he's just going to stay in, which is too bad because now I risk getting Scald burnt or hit with an HP Flying if he has it. He's going to go for the Scald. Do I get burnt? Nope. And now I'm just going to go for the Close Combat because I'm done messing around. He's going to go into his Mega Sceptile, and it just drops. It just dies. It just dies. Now he's going to go out into his Mamo. I don't have a switch in, so I'm just going to click Close Combat and I'm faster and it dies. I don't know what was up with that, but it's dead. Now it's going to go into this, and I'm just going to keep staying in because I don't really have a switch in, and I'm going to Close Combat again, and it dies. So I don't know why, but Hera's just absolutely killing everything, even though it shouldn't be in this game because it should be dead, but whatever. I'm going to go for the Rock Blast. As long as I hit, it should kill at this range, even though Rock Blast is doing a crisp nothing to this Entei. But it dies. And now all he has left is Seismitoad and Togekiss, and he shows that he is defensive and not Scarf, because he is actually going to live this Rock Blast and knock me out with the Dazzling Gleam, though he doesn't live by much. And now I can just go into Greninja and click Ice Beam and stuff a couple times. So Hera just went absolutely berserk in this game and got 4 kills for me. And now I just clean the game up by clicking Ice Beam, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm going to get another 5-0, and I advance into the tournament round, or the playoff round, which is cool. So this first time that Greninja does stuff in the game, which is cool. And let's get into my playoff game. Okay, so we got playoff round 1. This is against Flame Doge, who's in the GPC with me. Didn't play in this season though, because he was in the other division, but he made it in through the open thing, which means you have to win a lot more games, but the competition isn't necessarily as intense, I guess. But prepping for this team was really hard, especially since I only had 15 minutes to do it, and it was probably the most stressful thing I've ever done Pokemon wise ever. But his team, Hydreigon, Hawlucha, Togekiss, the Victini, Mega Aggron, Roserade, and what's not seen is Swampert. And I've got Spadef Mandibuzz because it checks Hydreigon and maybe Victini, and if it's special, and also the Roserade. I've got 4 attacks Mega Hera because it's like my only hope of winning, one of my only hopes of really banging his team around, because his team's really weak to Mega Hera, because every team is. I've got Life Orb, 3 attack U-turn, Greninja because it hits his team really hard, but I do have to predict a lot with it. And then I've got Unaware Clefable, which is the only time I brought Unaware in this tournament, and I don't like Unaware. It's mixed defenses with enough special defense to not get 2-hit KO'd or 3-hit KO'd by Air Slash from Togekiss, because I figured I'd have to take that on, and also to take hits from Hydreigon and stuff, and also so I didn't get swept by the Hawlucha. Then my win condition for this game is Hobbenberry SD 3 attacks Garchomp, because it just wins if I get up an SD, and likely defensive Togekiss and Aggron are weakened, then it just cleans or does a ton of work. And lastly, I have Trick Room Reuniclus because it actually just runs over his team. So I really didn't like my matchup in this game because Victini's hard to deal with, and I was really scared of defensive T-Wave annoying Togekiss. So I knew it was going to give me a lot of problems if he brought it. But let's get into it. So I'm going to lead off with my Greninja because I outspeed everything. And he leads off with the Victini. And I can't afford this thing being Scarfed. So I'm going to switch out into my Garchomp. But he is going to also switch out second, so he's not Scarfed, which is good to know. And now I'm going to switch from Garchomp into Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz is my dedicated switch-in. As he goes for the Dazzling Gleam, does 37. So he's not a boosting item of any sort, so it could be Scarfed or something like that. But I'm going to, he's going to go into his Aggron, as I think I'm just going to heal up because I need this thing healthy in case he's, because it's just good against his team. I'm going to go into the Heracross, and this was kind of a mistake because I really should have scouted around this Aggron a little bit, because at this point, no one had brought random flying coverage to deal with Mega Heracross at this point. And I'm going to go for the close combat here, and it's going to do a lot, but it's not going to kill because it's a Mega Aggron, and he is going to bring out the Aerial Ace and kill my Heracross. So this was really bad because Heracross was my best way to just break everything, because nothing took 2 hits from this thing. So that was really unfortunate, and also it could just clean his team under Trick Room potentially. So that was bad. So now I'm definitely on the back foot. As I'm going to go into Greninja, I'm just going to right for the Hydro Pump. But he's going to go into his Roserade, as Hydro Pump does absolutely nothing. So I'm thinking he's like AV, and I can't touch this thing, and I still don't want it to be like a bulky Scarf set or something. So I'm just going to go into my Mandibuzz, which can take a hit gets a crit Giga Drain, doesn't really matter, as I'm just going to fire off another Roost here, I think. So he's going to go into his Hydreigon, and I should be able to take a hit from this thing. He's just going to go for the U-turn. I think I'm just going to Roost off this damage. Or, no, I'm going to go for the knockoff, and because I was really thinking that was Scarfed Hydreigon. Turns out later that he was actually Specs, which was actually really good knowledge. I'm going to get rid of the lefties on this thing, though, and that's cool. As I'm going to go into Clef because it's my switch into it as he shows T-Wave, and I'm like, ah, shit. This is bad because I don't have Bisharp, which can hit it with an Iron Head, and I don't have my Heracross, which can Rock Blast it. So this thing is going to be hard to kill, and he's going to Air Slash me. Thank goodness I put Spadef into this thing. And the exchanges with Togekiss and Clef are just absolutely awful as I T-Wave it, which is cool. But he's going to continually flinch me down, and now I have to hope that I can heal up on something else, or I just lose to Hawlucha, which is too bad, as he's going to go into it, which is interesting. As I'm going to go into Reuniclus here, which is good for me because now I can go for a thing, as I'm just going to right for the Trick Room. Had I Focus Blasted, that would have been cool, but he's going to go into the thing, as I'm just going to hit a Focus Blast, which is nice, doesn't matter though. And I'm just kind of banking that he gets paired so I can go for a Life Orb, Psyshock, and get a lot of damage. Because my only hope at this point is this thing getting full paired so that I can kill it with my Reuniclus.